Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight's library with your host, Ryan Lauer.
Perfect.
All it takes is one bad day.
You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This is not my home. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanpodcastnetwork.com for a whole list of other Bat-related shows that also love to dive into other nerdy topics that we all love to frolic about in our free time. Also, the Batman Book Club is now on Patreon. If you would like to help support the show, just go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc and hit any one of the tiers to just help the show out. We really appreciate it. But thank you for tuning in to episode number 68, Batman in July. Now, joining me, he's a VIP. He's one half of the Straight Outta Gotham podcast. He's also a fellow BOF senior contributor, and most importantly, he is the Philip to my Terrence. It is Mr. Peter R. Verra. Peter, welcome back.
Hello, Ryan.
Whoa, hey now.
Hey now.
How are
What's
you?
going on?
How are you?
I'm good. Doing my best to stay cool in this hot weather, but other than that, doing really well. How about yourself?
Doing great. It's always a shame that I don't make these video podcasts or videos on YouTube, because you are always sporting the best gear. Sometimes you've got some great pink flamingo vacation shirts. This time you've got a Camp Crystal Lake Jason tank top on, dude. Style.
Yeah, I'm very well dressed for my age.
Well, I feel honored that you get all snazzied up for me for the Batman Book Club.
It's funny, like I'll wear like my flamingo polo, and I'll be on an old a vlog with the old man, and you're like, oh, so you got all dressed up for this? Like, no, I just wear this. As Lauer, he knows I just wear flamingo.
I just have a full closet just packed with flamingo polos. So
yeah, it's like that scene when like in Returns where Keaton goes to his
the
back
hangers.
closet. Yeah,
you got flamingo hangers. Pete, this is, I don't know what month now. Let's see, March, April, May,
July.
June, July. 5th. This is our 5th wrap up show.
Wow, we've been doing this for half a year.
Yeah,
almost. That's crazy.
We've got it down. Yeah, response has been very good, very, very positive. The people have spoken; they like this. So
this is a huge stack of books.
It's
just for this show alone. It's a stack.
What initially felt like when you and I were talking about this, it seemed like, yeah, these would just be really quick pieces of cake episodes that we could do every month, quick wrap ups, and then it's almost like DC heard us. And we're like, hey, I think we need to announce 6 more books a month.
Challenge accepted, nerds.
So then I think as I start writing stuff down and prep for the show, it's kind of like, holy shit, Pete, we've got 11 books at least to talk about.
Yeah, we should can we do this recap show about Green Arrow? He's got a lot less books.
And we like, welcome to the Batman Book Club. All right, Green Arrow, there was no issue. So thanks for coming on, Peter. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in. But I say, let's get down to business. Let's go to Batman in July. And let's kick it off. Unfortunately, we just keep starting every single one about Batman, but that's okay. Batman 110.
What else did you start it on?
I mean, it's usually, it's the first Tuesday of every month. Usually, the most recent Batman, written by James Tynion IV, illustrated by Jorge Jimenez, comes out. This month, it was Batman issue number 110. Pete, the past 2 months, we have not had very many positive things to say about this book. And I'll quickly just say, I think this was better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It is not anywhere near where the title should be, but I'll say I definitely didn't hate the issue. I didn't love it really either, but I think there's more stuff happening here in this issue, but my problems that I've said the past 3 months, 4 months, that they all still kind of remain.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, something happened and it kind of has a direction in this one. And I don't know. I kind of just feel like I'll be a broken record and say the same thing over and over. So why don't you go ahead and hop in?
Yeah. I enjoyed the issue. I don't have a whole lot of problems with it. I mean, other than normal, like I still could care less about Ghostmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I really dig what Jimenez is doing artistically. I think it's absolutely gorgeous from Barbara Gordon, who actually Dan Moore does a fantastic job later on when we talk about Detective. She's beautiful in this book. Just there's some really good just Batman action shots. There's a really great picture, a really great panel of Nightwing. So artistically, the book's like a solid A+. And the story's interesting because you kind of figure, okay, it's Batman versus Peace. I can't remember, are they Peacekeepers or Peacemakers?
I think he is Peacekeeper 01.
Mm-hmm. I just like give me a Joker story, even though we just had one, or just give me like Two-Face or back when I was reviewing like Tomasi's run for Detective, like he was at his best when he was doing like classic villains, and then he tried to do his thing or whatever, and it didn't always land for me personally, but I mean, it's just like I just don't care about this villain.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So like you said, there's some cool action shots and there's a fight, but for the 5th month now in a row, 6th month in a row, we open up with a Scarecrow tease. It's so repetitive and just good God,
I want to know what he's doing.
Over this shit. I'm ready to move on.
I don't want to get over it. I want to get to it. Like I feel like Scarecrow's been teased, but I want to like, what is his real plan? What is he like? I don't even. Here's the thing, and it's like sometimes I feel like I forget what the hell happens in Batman.
Yep.
And is that mostly because we're doing a show at the end of the month and it comes out at the beginning of the month, and I just read too much, or is it because it's just not memorable?
It's not memorable because also that same week, I did not have to flip through the next one we'll talk about really quickly. The finale, Batman 0 Point finale. Batman, oh my gosh, what is it? The 0 Point, what's the Fortnite? Holy crap. I remember what happened in that issue, and I read that right after I read this. Mm-hmm. And I also read the next one we'll talk about, the Adventures Continue issue number 2. And I remember what happened in that. So I don't think it's because we're doing the wrap-up issues. It's just nothing memorable is happening in this book. Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer. But I mean, I've already said this the past 3 episodes or 4 episodes when we talked about this book, that I'm really over this book. Poor Jorge Jimenez, I mean,
Jimenez's art just it saves the book. It does. I'm sorry, and I feel that way about a couple. Another book we'll talk about later, but
okay. Ooh, can't wait to hear what that one is. So, Batman 110. I mean, if you've liked it, I think you'd keep liking it. If you haven't enjoyed it, you're not missing anything really. They're gonna get to the fear state eventually. That's been teased forever, but we'll see. We'll see if that's more of the same or something new. But I'm pretty sure. I think that kicks off next month. No, maybe it's September. So we've got like one more issue before maybe something does happen. And then you won't have anything to say about this, but Batman Fortnite 0 Point number 6 finally wrapped up this little tie-in. And I said last month that I was kind of done with, I'd gotten what I needed out of it, but I mean, it's still wrapped up. It was pretty fun. It didn't really end. Well, it did end, but is also teased for it can continue on with another series and whatnot. It's a fun little series. It's on DC Universe. If you just need to, I don't know, you've got half an hour to kill, you could fly through all 6 issues. They're just kind of fun, harmless, more memorable than the Batman run has been.
So now that it's finished, do you want to play Fortnite?
I promised my cousin, who's a lot younger than me, that I would play Fortnite sometime with him. So this book didn't make me want to play Fortnite. I'd kind of already promised that I will, and haven't gotten around to it yet. But it will be cool to see. It's kind of a gate. It's a little bit of a gateway though, because he doesn't read Batman comics or anything. But a suit that was revealed in the series then became available on Fortnite, and he'd talk to me about how Batman's got a really cool new suit and all of that. So I mean, it's kind of a gateway to keep Batman, in the conversation for him when he doesn't read comics or anything. So that's all right. Let's hop to the next thing. Batman: The Adventures Continue, Season 2, Issue number 2. Peter, did you happen to read this?
I loved it. I loved it. Really just fun Deadman tale. I feel like we brought this up numerous times. I love Deadman.
Yeah, because I said that I don't have. I like him, but he's not going to draw me to a comic book. If he's included, okay.
Yeah,
but
he's cool.
I think that this is a really cool. I'm with you. I think this is a really cool inclusion of bringing him into this world.
Just Deadman, Court of Owls, just really interesting stuff. They can go the supernatural, spiritual elements really well done here in the book by Dini and Burnett, and it's just a great I love these Adventures Continue stories. So this is just another one. Did Deadman ever appear on Justice League Unlimited or anything like that?
I didn't watch very much Justice League Unlimited, so it's something I've always wanted to.
I'm wondering if they've interacted before in the TV shows and stuff before this, but I think it's great if it's also, I think it's a great introduction for someone who doesn't know who Deadman is either. It explains things, and he's even got a little history with the Graysons and stuff. So that that's cool. There's a lot of really great DC things in there. Yeah.
Now, has it ever been in any Deadman comic that you've read where if somebody puts that medallion on their head that they can see him? Is that new for this story?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I feel like I haven't seen anything, but it may just be something in witchcraft, right? Sure. Just kind of it's one of those things. That's kind of how I took it. I don't know if it's specific.
And it made me giggle a little bit to see Batman flying around his little medallion on his head. And I think Deadman even said at the end of the first issue that he'd been there a long time, but he's just kind of enjoying the moment that Batman's sitting on a gargoyle wearing this medallion on his head. But I like the twist, which if you haven't read it yet, spoilers in 3, 2, 1, that Mr. Mayor Hill is not dead.
Oh my god.
I know. That was a fun little twist, because fun twist, but also maybe just a little because to actually stick with his death in the first issue, and it's no, he's dead, he's done. Would have been pretty ballsy for this world. I was kind of bummed out. I was they killed Hamilton Hill. Why would they do that? Yeah, but I'm not exactly disappointed with it either. It's a new take on the Court of Owls that I think worked for me. Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm all about this. And it's weird. My cover had Zatanna on it, but I feel where is she? Did I miss Zatanna entirely in this issue? I'm flipping through now, and yeah, that's true. I thought she was in this, but you're right. It's almost like Zatanna was a part of the story, and they had to change it. They didn't change the cover. Oh yeah, whoops. And then it teases that the next issue is Jazzman. The Jazzman returns. I don't know what that means. We'll find out. Just don't post any pics online, will you? I mean, we'll just we got to wait a week, maybe 2 weeks. Really? Yeah, it's. I mean, it's one of the first weeks of each month. Right. So I mean, hurry up and get through the next Batman issue, and then hop to The Adventures Continue. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a pan. All right. A pan? It sounds like a pan. Peter Pan. Let's hop into the second. Did you ever watch that when it was on NBC? They did the Peter Pan special? Probably. Yeah, that's how it was. He's all, Peter Pan. It's not a good Christopher Walken. Anyways, Peter, our Verra, not Pan. Let's hop to the second week in July. a book that you have finally given up on, the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries #4.
Yes, I have.
You have, which you'd said the past 2 months basically that if it keeps going the way it was going, that you were gonna drop it. It's just kind of too kiddie for you, right?
Yeah.
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 Well,
so I did it fall through.
Of all the issues for you to drop.
Well, was this?
No, no, it continues.
Okay.
It continued to be the same tone, basically. I thought it was fun. It continued what it's been doing. Basically, there's a parade. This is more of a Nightwing and Batgirl. So again, Babs, she's everywhere.
Good.
Yeah, it's a parade. The issue's called Monsters on Parade. And and Scooby and the gang are witnessing a parade, and everybody's got masks on, but it seems like everybody ends up going bad. So they've got to basically it's perfect. It's another unmasking of like, we've got to unmask it. Who's really behind all this? And what do you think of with masks? You think of Black Mask, Roman Sionis, and sure enough,
look at that.
He has his own float in the parade, which is fantastic. I won't give all of it up, but I mean, it's another fun one. I thought it was fun. I'll keep reading this every month and just do like a really quick wrap up by the end. But if you haven't been bananas over it, this wouldn't have changed your mind. And this maybe would have pushed you a little further away from it, because it really does get like a little silly, but I don't know. I think it's kind of harmless fun, and it's Batman, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and that's kind of what I expected the book to kind of be like. That's why but I gave it a fair shot. It just wasn't for me.
Okay. But I think what was for you. Let's double down on this. Another month of 2 issues of Detective Comics, number 1039 and 1040. And sir, because you are the one who reviews these books for Batman on Film, I think you need to take the lead.
Because of me. Well, they're really cool stories, and Tamaki does a really good job, continuing her story and moving everything along. For me, though, it might be a little too much science fiction for Batman.
Yeah.
Just me personally, where it kind of seems like it's like Batman meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers, kind of like this Halloween hybrid, with like Predator mandibles. It's like it's this guy Hugh Vile, and he's just like, he's kind of like Nomak from like Blade 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like his face like opens up like that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and it's well written. Like I can't say like she's not doing her job. She's doing a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
For me though, it's just like, wait, it's a bit far out there, but the stories are good, and because it just started off as like this almost like, oh, this is a murder mystery, Bruce Wayne's a suspect type deal, and that was cool. And Babs makes a great appearance in here in these 2 issues as well. And Huntress plays a big part, which is great because I love the Huntress revival.
Yeah, this Huntress that Tamaki has written, I think, is awesome. I'm really digging this Huntress, and I didn't get to her solo issue that came out this month yet, but I'm going to. Okay, good.
I loved it.
It's kind of a continuation of where she left off here, right?
Yeah, it fills in some blanks.
It's
basically it happens between 39 and 40.
Okay, I'll say that something that did surprise me is on the last page of 1039 how it said it was the neighborhood finale. Like this arc, this was over. It didn't feel like it was over to me at all.
It doesn't. It's kind of weird and deceptive because it's like what in the next issue it just picks right up.
Yeah,
so I was like, what was the finale of?
It's like basically like the parasite was kind of given to Huntress, and then it was like Huntress is in the hospital, and I'm going to turn myself in. Finale. Oh, yeah. Okay. But I mean, other than that, I'd say like it was a good issue. It was a great issue.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And then 1040 kicks it off. I had to because we're talking about 11 books this month. I had to go back and check what happened in that issue because 1040 kicks off and Bruce Wayne's turned himself into jail. And I'm like, wait, what happened here? Huh? And then I remembered he was in jail when it exploded.
Yes.
Got bombed. Yeah, and your boy Dan Mora returns for this issue.
He does, with some little Keaton yellow oval, and
there you go.
that whole panel and action sequence is great. The scene with the drunk was fantastic.
Yes, the flashback story. I love, and I forget what the term is of the coloring for the flashback is the old like dot method.
Yeah.
Which is always kind of fun. And then you turn the page and it's a Batman Joker fight, and it's got basically the Neil Adams suit, and you know that it's a laughing fish because he throws a laughing fish in there, and then it's Joker, and then those two fight. And I just thought that was a lot of fun. And I think the Joker even looks very much like almost like a Sean Murphy Joker too.
And then for me, the Oswald.
Oh yeah, that's your
fantastic.
boy.
Oh, I love that. Just crooked nose crook. He's just fantastic. Yeah. So it ends in a big way, but like it's also like, who is the jury and what's going to happen? And then, like how far out in the fantastical is this going to go? That's my only concern.
And at least the book does leaves it in an interesting spot because Bruce was already in that neighborhood, but his place is blown up. So now he is in detective. He's homeless by the end of this issue.
Technically,
but Bruce always finds a way.
I'm sure he's got another brownstone somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. He's got the sewers with the Ninja Turtles. And the backup of this with Man-Bat backup of 1040.
I thought it was really bad.
Oh, you did? Really?
I didn't like it.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of weird, but
to me it felt forced considering where we left him off at the end of his own series. And
which I never read.
Yeah, which you should, and that was fantastic. And then just to kind of, spoiler alert, kind of kill him off, which is kind of weird.
It's total aliens, whatever this thing is that pops out of him and shit. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. But okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
I didn't do it.
Noted, Pete. You hated it. It ruined the book for you. It ruined your vision.
No, it didn't ruin the book for me. It just...
That's okay. It's okay, Pete. It's okay. People are going to write in. Get Peter off the show. I'll be a regular now. Nobody wants to hear him talk anymore.
I think that part's true.
People are sick of hearing you talk. What makes you think I would hear you talk? Let's move along now to Batman the Detective. Number 4 by Tom Taylor, illustrated by Andy Kubert. This series continues to be solid. Peter.
Yeah. I'm just. It's cool. I feel like I might have overhyped it.
This issue or the book itself, like the series?
Oh, the book itself. I'm just kind of like, all right, what's going on with these other bat people, and what is all this? And I was like, this mobile bat cave type thing, this huge tank. I mean, I've seen it before, and I don't know. I'm like, well, what's really going on here? What's happening? Like, I'm just kind of like, all right, we're going to get to it. There's 2 more issues left, so. But it's solid. Yeah, it's not my favorite Tom Taylor book, but it's good. It's not bad. I'm
really liking it, but yeah, there is a lot to wrap up in 2 issues, I think, to feel like a really solid ending for sure. This almost feels like this should be the halfway point, and it should be like an 8-issue miniseries or maybe 10, because they do have a lot to wrap up. But I really love the interrogation scene and Bruce acting in it, and then you think that they got the one up on him, and then in classic Bruce fashion, nope, he planned for this all along, and he makes a jailbreak, and all that's great. I really like that. It's illustrated really well. And then he gets the Batcave mobile. There's a really cool page that Kubert even drew too, when he says that he's, I dream of old friends, and he's got Superman and Wonder Woman, Talia, Catwoman.
I dug that.
A bunch of, his parents, Red Hood and all that. I think that's some cool pages. And the art really gets me in this book because it's mature, but also like fun. Mm-hmm. And the trench coat Batman looks pretty badass.
Yes, he does.
I am just a really big fan of this series. It's really, really working for me.
Good.
Which is funny because it's kind of different from my if you were to ask me like my favorite kind of Batman stories, it is Batman in Gotham, atmospheric, and him fighting one of the rogues and stuff like that. And this is none of that, but it's still working for me.
All right. All right, there we go.
Okay, well, we only have 2 more issues, Pete, and then we'll be down to 10 books until DC announces 5 more Batman titles a month. Speaking of a favorite that we've been talking about, how about this Batman Urban Legends number 5?
Oh man, is this book awesome?
Oh boy. Okay, well, Pete just Pete got really excited here. He just jumped up, so I think you should take it over. Hop in.
This book is really fun. I'm so happy with
everything.
Not everything, because there's still Grifter.
There still has yet to be a perfect batch of popcorn because that Grifter piece keeps getting.
I was like, I just don't even care about Grifter at all. So sorry, I don't even read it. But
they're actually releasing this collected, I think in December, and calling it Batman Urban Legends Volume 1. And cool. The description of the trade is they put such an optimistic and like happy spin, and also includes Grifter.
But there's a cool like Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain tale. There's a cool, obviously the Jason Todd story, and there's a little bit of Dick Grayson, Tim Drake in there. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. I can't, and for the price, I know it's a hefty book. It's $7.99, but I think it's really worth it.
I love what they're exploring. Chip Zdarsky.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship between Jason and Bruce, and like this Batman and Robin duo, and the flashback. I've really been loving the flashbacks, and they had a good moment last issue where Jason acted like he was surprised that Bruce showed up. And he was like, "Oh, you were," I think he said like, "You're there for me." And Batman's like, "Always," and stuff. And here, it's a great throwback to a Riddler trap, and Jason had to, answer a riddle, and we flash back to that, and then to the present and stuff throughout, and then we see at the end that Jason answered correctly, and Batman basically was just like, "I knew you would," showing his faith in him. So I think it's really interesting to show that we keep having these moments of Batman showing that he was faithful to this Robin, and yet we still are where we are.
That's kind of been lost over the years.
Yeah, because we're still in the position that we're in, where Jason's a little, spiteful and holding a grudge and everything toward Batman, but it seems like we're getting these moments in this story of, see, Jason, he was there for you. See, Jason, he did have faith in you. So this. And there's a lot of Mr. Freeze in here, which I loved.
Oh, beautiful.
Eddie Barrows drew all of the present day stuff. And man, that guy's great. I love his work. But I'm sad. Peter, Pete, I'm sad.
What's wrong?
There's one more chapter of this Red Hood story next month. And then that's it for this story.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough hill to climb. This Red Hood story's been really amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know. We'll see, but I'm not excited to see what has to follow this. I feel they're going to have to come out swinging to match the expectation, because, like I've said, through all 5 of these Urban Legends issues, I've only read the Red Hood story. And I know that
you haven't read any of the backups.
I haven't read any of the backups. I'm trying to make sure that I get through all these 11 books each month, Pete.
If I could do it, you can do it. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, noted. I'll read Grifter.
Slacker. You don't even. That's the one you don't need to read. Why would you?
Hey, but hold on. Next month might be your perfect batch of popcorn, because this was Grifter part 5 of 5.
Oh my God.
So.
The Jim Lee mandate.
Hang in there, Pete. Next month, things are looking up. I
love you, Jim. No more Grifter.
I was really sad, but now I'm happy. I'm happy again. I think at least for Batman titles, the second week in July, that about does it for the third week. We got nothing, Pete. Nothing that third week. A Batman-less week in DC Comics. And sales plummeted.
That is incredible.
Ooh,
I can't believe it.
I'm wrong. Legends of the Dark Knight #3.
This is why you don't trust Lauer. Not only does he post illicit set photos.
Not illicit set photos. There you go. Not illicit set photos. Tell me about Legends of the Dark Knight #3, Peter.
This is cool. I mean, just continuing the whole Riddler thing, and Riddler needs help. So then, what's her name? Quiz.
Yeah,
Quiz gets involved with Batman, and it reminded me a lot of what was that Batman the animated series episode where Harley catches a Batman, but then Batman convinces her like, "Well, you can't kill me unless the Joker's here to witness it, whatever."
That's not Mad Love, is it?
I don't want to say it's Mad Love. It might be Mad Love. It might be. And it reminded me a lot of that because then, like, Riddler's like, "What are you doing? Batman's never caught." It's like, oh my God, this is like a Mad Love remix with the Riddler. Like, I love it, know? And then Quiz is kind of like punchline. And I was like, I dig this. This is cool. Like, all right, this girl for some reason has a crush on the Riddler. Like, all right. And he says they're like almost the same age. So I imagine she's older, but Riddler needs love too.
Sure. He met a fan who can also become his accomplice / partner /
She's
lover.
Punchline. She's Punchline, dude.
She's already better than Punchline.
And I'm cool with that. I like Punchline. So,
she's basically
I would love
I'd
love a Riddler
an issue and
Joker
she's better
fight.
than Punchline.
I love sidekicks.
Oh, yeah, this completed the first arc of this Legends of the Dark Knight, and it was a lot of fun, I thought. I really liked it. Give me more Riddler any day. All day, any day.
Yeah.
But I thought that the art was fantastic. I liked the story. It was fun. That's all I kind of... In some books, I just want fun, and I think this was fun. The look of everything looked great. The characterizations were good.
We've been getting a lot of Scarecrow lately.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling this design.
Okay.
Between this, he was in Man-Bat. He's in Batman. Where else did he pop up? He popped up in another book recently. I don't know. Just this design didn't work for me.
Do you like this design more than in Batman?
No, I like the Batman design way more.
Okay.
And I was iffy about that, but it just seems too plain to me.
Gotcha. All right.
So.
Well, they're going to come after you now.
After you now.
Peter R. Verra, he's just hating everything. Drops Scooby-Doo, Batman, and he doesn't read Flash. Didn't read that Fortnite. Did you say Harvey Bullock?
Yeah.
He's a Harvey Bullock, All right, let's hop to our most recent week of DC Comics.
Oh,
Batman, Superman, #20.
Didn't read.
Yeah, me neither. So
I don't really read when it comes to Batman, Superman books. Personally, like I don't really, and I've said this before on various shows. Like I don't even like reading Justice League. Like it's got to be something special, like Infinite Frontier, for me to get like a team up book, right? Because that's out right now. That's like the popular ensemble team thing. But like I don't know, man. Like outside of that Loeb run, right? That like was it Superman Batman? Is that what that run was called?
Yeah.
That was like the exception for me. That was classic.
Yeah, which was 2 of DC animated movies were based out of that run.
Yeah,
the Public Enemies and Apocalypse. Yeah, interesting. But I feel like I got to mention it in case somebody is reading. Let us know if we need to start reading it because we keep bypassing it. But Batman Reptilian #2.
Well, hold on. I read it once. I read it like twice, maybe. We've done a couple shows where I've read the book.
Oh, okay.
I've done the whole digital thing for you, Ryan. Don't worry about it.
Our pal Garrett Grev, he likes to review it on Batman on Film, and I think he's having fun with it. So,
yeah. I mean, I hope he's not one of those guys who's upset about He-Man.
He is.
I don't know.
He's tweeting Kevin Smith every single day. He's going to Target, pulling out the action figures off the racks, and tossing them underneath.
Is that really what people are doing?
I saw a video of that, and I'm like, man, that's pathetic. That is so sad.
It's so great to not be a fan of something and watch a fan base implode, because it's like, wow, so that's what that looks like.
So I watched the first episode, and I don't have any knowledge of He-Man, and I thought it was fun. I really liked it. And I'm like, I'm gonna watch them. I mean, it was fun. That's all I wanted, and that's what I got. But Batman Reptilian, written by Garth Ennis and illustrated by Liam Sharp. Still on the fence about this one, Pete.
I think I joined you.
Yeah.
I don't know if the book is necessarily. There's good moments, like there's good interrogation moments, and there's good Batman moments, and the art's phenomenal. Like this is the other book I was mentioning where the art is better than the actual print. The words, the script. It's just, like at some point I'm like, what is going on? What is he trying to do? At the end, there's this monster loose and I've got to stop it. I was like, when did we establish that there was this monster running around? Like, I thought we were talking about Croc. Like, and I was like, who's this mutant mudface guy? So
that's where I'm confused by. And I don't love the art. I think the art's a little too messy.
The art's interesting. I dig it. It's different.
It's very Dave McKean, which isn't my favorite at all either, because it's really hard to just sometimes see what's going on.
Sharp's normal style? I feel like this is not his normal style.
I don't think it is either. And then it's kind of like, so Batman comes upon, and I don't feel like we're progressing the story all that much. Because
I don't even know what's going on.
Last issue was like, hey, a bunch of villains were being gutted. And then Batman's like, oh, okay. And that was the issue. And then this issue, he arrives on the scene. And then it's like, there's probably more it's probably in the sewer. So he goes to the sewer where there's a lot of people. And then that's the issue. It's like, okay, so after 2 issues, something's gutting something, there are people, and that's it. He discovers Penguin, and he says, don't try and move because what you're holding on to is supposed to be inside you.
Yeah.
But we never see it. And I don't really know exactly what that's supposed to mean. Like, what's he hanging on to?
How long is this arc? How long is
this? This is a 6-issue story. Yeah, and it's $5
I got a feeling like I'll get to 3. I won't like it.
It's gonna join Scooby-Doo.
I might finish this more because I'm interested in the artwork than anything else.
That's true. But I don't.
And there's like a line early on where I'm like, is this like, did he just rip this out of Jaws?
I don't know. I'm not loving the design. I'm not loving. We're a third of the way through. I kind of wasn't understanding some of the dialogue between like Bruce and Alfred in the cave. And the cave is just kind of ugly, and you can't really understand. I don't know. I was really excited for this book when 2 issues in, and I'm not excited to read this.
Right.
Which is too bad.
Too bad.
Because give me Black Label. I'm good with Black Label, but whatever.
This is Black Label.
I know. That's why I'm saying give me Black Label, but I'm disappointed in this Black Label. Peter Verra. Peter R. Verra.
Peter R. Verra.
Well, that does it for the Batman titled. We just flew through. Man, maybe we're on point. Because we just flew through 11 books.
Well, there's a lot of honorable mentions. So
I've got 2, and they're the usual 2. So we'll go through those, and then you can speed round through all the additionals.
I only read The Long Halloween and whatever I put on the email.
Peter? Pete? Are you there?
Hello?
Hey, Peter. You need to read The Long Halloween.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. People are worried. People are sending me emails saying, is Pete really never read it? He really needs to get on this. He calls himself a fan. Why is he allowed on every single episode each month to talk, and he's never read The Long Halloween?
Never read The Long
Halloween. He jumps on to New 52 and claims he's an expert.
That's not
Classic
true.
Pete Verra. So, my first non-Batman titled book, as every month it's been,
dweeb.
is Joker number 5.
Uh-huh.
Written by James Tynion IV. Illustrated by Gilliam March. But not this month. No, sir. This month. Francesco Francavilla. I love that guy's art. Introduced to him through the Scott Snyder Black Mirror run. Loved what he's done since. And yeah, he does a throwback Jim Gordon story here. And Pete, I dug the hell out of this issue.
Really awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just the mind games of the Joker and just all that just really gets into it. And I actually didn't dig the Punchline story as much at the back. So that wasn't one of my favorite ones, but the Joker story was really interesting.
Yeah. And Francavilla, it seems like, so we're
almost kind of year one art too.
Yes.
Right? Like kind of looks like it could fit in there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention.
That Gordon looks very, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. I was going to call him Machiavelli. Yeah.
Machiavelli?
I was going to call him Machiavelli.
You know Machiavelli when he was drawing that Jim Gordon stuff.
Machiavelli was doing year one with Frank Miller.
Give me that story.
Yeah,
Batman Machiavelli.
Batman Machiavelli.
Batman Machiavelli.
It's like a soundtrack produced by Tupac. Oh, you thought he was dead, but he's not.
No, he recorded this salute to Jim Gordon.
Years ago, it's what inspired the film. We swear he's not in Aruba.
He's not. Yeah, I mean it's just taunting. It's mind games from Joker. Gordon's, being tested by him. Very much like horror element in mind games, reminiscent of that Black Mirror,
like Seven and stuff like
with
that.
James Gordon and stuff. And I just thought, all of that, it fit really well. This was, it's fun. I really think this is just a one-off issue. That Francavilla is not going to come back for another one, but I really dug this just random throwback story. And we'll see where it takes off to next month. I'm a big fan. Really, really liking this series.
Good. I'm too. I'm digging it. And I really enjoyed the change of pace, the palette cleanse that issue 5 was.
Yep. It's a way to keep it fresh. So fresh and so clean.
So fresh and so clean.
And then many people's favorite DC comic each month right now, Nightwing by Tom Taylor.
Yeah, this is my favorite Tom Taylor book. I like this more than The Detective.
What can we say that we haven't been saying for the past 5 months, Pete?
I just picked up the variant cover for 81.
Is that
the third printing with the dog was great.
Oh, okay. No, I think it was
really interesting stuff with this book. Just where Taylor's taking it, and just with John Grayson and everything before he married Dick's mother, and with everything with the Zuko girl, and I was like, wow, like this is. I feel like if someone else tried this, I wouldn't have liked it. It was. And again, the flashbacks look kind of old school.
Yes,
when you look at it. So,
and I really love that.
I don't know if is that like a company mandate? Because I like, yes, that's great. Well done.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Because that again looks like like we just said with the Detective 1040 flashbacks of like the dotted style, which is really cool. But I really like how Taylor, he added this new element. It's pretty big too. Of Dick has a stepsister, but it added her in without tainting the Grayson name at all, which I'm really glad too. It was like, oh no, this is before Dick's parents became an item, so it totally works. And if you don't like it, you don't have to stick with it either, I don't think. But I think it was mostly told in flashback story, given some history, but I think it's great, and it ends really well. Looking forward to next issue. It's another memorable chapter in Taylor's Nightwing run, which I still haven't come across anything that said how long he signed on for. So I don't know how
Ryan, just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride, dude. Just hop on the waves and ride the waves, bro.
All right. And that's where I end with the monthly reading piece. So you got some.
Yeah, I know.
Are they hot? You got some hot recommendations, Pete?
This is Ryan
straight out of Pete's pit.
Straight out of the Lauer Hour. Robin, which is really good, and now basically what it comes down to is basically Robin's on like this Mortal Kombat island.
Oh, God,
and now he's basically his main competition is Connor Hawk. So like him and Connor are kind of duking it out, and you got the whole, what's it called? Whatever kind of shadow cult or whatever the hell, like League of something. I forget. Yeah, I forget what league is.
You know what it
League
is,
of
Pete?
Shadows, Lazarus, or something like
It's
that.
the
It's
league.
one of these.
It's the League of Lowers.
The
They
League
just
of Lowers.
down Mountain Dew and then high kick people and throw bowls of cereal at them.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
But some really good Green Arrow and like Batman commentary coming from the kids and everything. So it's a real fun issue, and Williamson's really killing it. And I'm surprised at how much I like it because I genuinely don't like Damian. So
I do not like Damian.
It's funny, like characters I don't normally enjoy. Damian and Jason Todd have been really kind of the standouts of the past couple months for me.
Nice.
They've been really well written.
Very cool.
Catwoman 33, really interesting tale. Basically, Alleytown, which is kind of, I guess, if you're not caught up on Catwoman, is like, I guess, a even more rundown part of the Narrows than you would be accustomed to. So Catwoman's been taking these kids in, and now someone's kind of after her in her territory, and Clayface and with Killer Croc and a bunch of other couple C-list, D-list villains get together and want to team up with Catwoman and her crew of mischievous kids, and I want to defend Alleytown. It's a really cool thing, really cool story written by Ron B, who's also writing Swamp Thing right now, so he's killing it. Huntress, Batman Secret Files, Huntress #1, really amazing. Just written by Tamaki, so it's perfectly in line with what's going on in Detective. And I don't know what version of Huntress this is, which is so interesting to me. I don't know if it's the new 52 Spiral version that came out around Grayson, and then she eventually joined Batgirl Birds of Prey. I don't know, because she's got like that Catholic element to her, even though like the cross is on the bike and everything. So it seems to be kind of channeling a lot of different. I wouldn't say it almost seems to me this Huntress feels very No Man's Land on to me.
Okay.
Before the whole new 52, and that's really cool. And read that because it fills in the blanks for the Detective. It literally is the between issue between 39 and 40, so it's fabulous. And Harley Quinn, written by one of my favorites, Stephanie Phillips. She's amazing. One of my favorite new hot writers here. Really cool, just Harley Quinn story. You think Hugo Strange is a villain, but he's actually being played by somebody else, and it seems to be a new villain. So Phillips seems to be going tying in on us and creating her own new villain here.
But it works better here, huh?
We'll see. I mean, it's only kind of been teased at the end of the issue.
Okay.
I'm really digging like this version of Harley. She's really toned down, really more in line with the White Knight Harleen version. Cool. Really toned down, as I said, from the Manacana version that was so just like let's push the dial, up the ante with that. And this is a little bit cooler. I would love to see Margot Robbie kind of adapt Harley and Kevin. I think Kevin is one of the great side characters that DC's created recently. So I would love to see him hopefully in a new Harley movie within the next 4 or 5 years, but if that ever happens. But those are my recommendations.
Cool.
I would probably, if you had to skip anything, I would say skip Reptilian, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would maybe say if you had to skip something, actually Reptilian. Even
it's got to be
more so than Batman book, because at least you have Jorge Jimenez's art that's nice to look at in Batman. I'm with you on that. How about what was your favorite book out of the month of July?
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, coming at you with the hard.
My favorite
questions.
book. It's either Nightwing or Adventures Continues #2.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I really like that Dead Man story.
It'd be hard for me to pick, but I just think out of consistency's sake, it'd have to be between The Detective and Detective Comics. I just think Tamaki can't
Detective's
go wrong.
really high for you, huh?
Yeah.
The Detective.
Tamaki can't go wrong there. I mean, just doing
she's
great
doing
each chapter.
I don't know. The whole sci-fi thing kind of gets to me a little bit.
That threw me off, and that's partially why I'd say maybe The Detective.
Because it came so far out of left field. Like you just... I didn't think she was going to do that. Like, this seemed, like I said earlier, like very grounded.
Yeah.
Right? And then she throws in this whole, like, sci-fi element. And you're like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, whereas that, it's almost like with each Detective Comics book, I'm just strapping in, enjoy the ride. Whereas The Detective, I'm waiting, like, for answers. I'm reading for answers and stuff, too. So I'm approaching each book differently, but I'm getting about the same equal amount of entertainment from each. So
this is the stack of books for the month.
Okay, Pete's holding 5 pounds worth of comic books.
And that's not even everything I was supposed to read.
I was going to say, that's just reading for this show. That's not saying that's all of your comic book reading for the month. So
no,
you're a machine. No. This is why I came to you first with the idea of this, because nobody reads more comics than Peter R. Verra.
Maybe nobody. Paul Herman. I think Paul Herman.
You think Paul Herman does?
I think he's the only person who probably can compete with me.
Well, I think that should be an episode. In one corner, Peter R. Verra, and in the other one, it is Paul Herman.
Paul better start reading some Black Cat. He told me he was. He has an issue 8 just came out this week. So
perfect.
I'm loving it.
Peter, thanks for stepping out of your VIP room here in the Wayne Manor study to come talk some Batman comics.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always a pleasure to discuss the adventures of Capes and Cowls with you.
Wow. You couldn't have put more energy into that. You know that Pete's serious. To twist his arm to do this.
I can't stand him sometimes.
So I mentioned at the top of the show that you are one half of the SOG team. So why don't you go ahead and do some plugs? Where can people follow the Peter Verra?
You could follow me, as always, on social media. That's all forms of social media. Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, Zack Snyder's favorite Verra at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1 on Twitter and Instagram, straight_O_G, Straight Outta Gotham, that I co-host with the champion of Long Island. That's right, Eric the Aquaman Holzman. We do a show where we talk about news and such all around the multiverse of nerddom. You can follow podcast 2 at Italians for Spidey on Twitter. That is a show that I co-host with Sausage and Meatball, Nicholas and his father, Nick Caruso. And we talk all various things. Spider-Man, that's once a month on the Vigilante feed, so check that out. Good stuff. We'll be recording a new show tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. And then check me out on batmanonfilm.com. I've got reviews of comic books and toys and stuff like that. Check me out on Batman on Film YouTube. I have interviews with various people throughout the industry and some other toy reviews and stuff. So I'm all over there. Check me out at Team Yellow Oval, as we do not post illicit set photos of the Flash film. We're the only ones who don't do that, aside from BOF. So keeping it strong.
Keeping it strong. Strong out of Gotham. There you go. Yeah. Booyah. Sog. Good old Sog.
Good old Sog.
You can follow the Batman Book Club on Twitter and Instagram at thebatmanbc for latest episode drops, upcoming episodes, and sometimes even some giveaways. You can follow me on Twitter at Lauer_Ryan. Lauer, Peter.
Spelled like lower.
Thank you very much for that. You can also write into the show with questions or comments, concerns. Go to Eric Holzman at thebatmanbc@gmail.com. You can also become a Patreon if you would like to help out with the show. Just go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. You can also check out my write-ups on Batman on Film with reviews and podcasts, chats and discussions, as well as some interviews with popular people like Mr. Lee Bermejo himself. You can also see I have done some Lego reviews on the site, and of course, the Batwing lamp review. Oh yes, it's my pride and joy. I love lamp. If you'd like to support the show with some merchandise, you can go to TeePublic and buy t-shirts or hoodies or onesies, stickers, notebooks, whatever you would like to help support this show. But most importantly, if you would like to support and you don't want to spend any money at all, that is 100% A-OK. You can do it by giving a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. The link to the rate and review page is in the description of this episode. The more reviews we get, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, the word is panic. So, for Peter R. Verra, I am Ryan Lauer. And until next time, read more Batman comics.